Many people didn't even know the reality that too many of our children face.
These are the risks of playing in the bad fields, but like I said, there's nothing else available, so you had to play in these fields.
We need to do something better throughout the entire city.
We were working on the general plan in the city of Fresno, which is our blueprint for how our city will grow in the next 20 to 30 years. And we really wanted to make sure that young people were included in that process.
They were very happy to talk to us and voice their concerns about what they would like to see in their neighborhood parks. And a lot of their concerns were that the restrooms were not open. The lighting was bad. There were not enough amenities in the park.
There's bare spots in the field where folks can slide really easily if they're out there playing soccer or just playing sports with their families. That's actually happened to one of our young people.
About 2 years ago, playing at Alradica Park, because of a pothole, I rolled my ankle and I sprained my ankle.
We took the initiative to look into why there was not enough park space in Fresno. We were last in the nation according to the park score, and that there were only 4.62 park acres per 1,000 residents in the north side versus 1.02 park acres per 1,000 residents in South Fresno.
I think for a lot of people, seeing that graphic and seeing those numbers, it was shocking to them. Because for folks that live in North Fresno, they look around and they see parks everywhere. And they assume that, well, this is how all of Fresno is. They don't see that type of inequity throughout the city. But seeing it like that, with the numbers posted, with a picture of a park in South Fresno and a picture of a park in North Fresno, people looked at it and went, that's something I need to know more about. Tell me more about that. What is going on with that? And it began to shape this narrative that we have a problem.
We really understood at that time was that we really needed to focus on making sure that our city provides parks that are not just adequately maintained, but that are also available in neighborhood. And that's really what led to us launching the Parks4All campaign.
We started advocating with community residents, with youth leaders, with City of Fresno officials to start talking about you're going to have a healthy communities element component to this plan. Well, having access to parks and recreational opportunities is part of living in a healthy community.
When we first presented this information to the community, they were very, very shocked that the Parks Master Plan has not been updated since 1989.
So there was no plan for parks, for rehabilitation, for improvement, for acquiring new land, for how to pay for it. There's nothing.
As an organization, we're able to say, okay, how do we share this with the Hmong community? How do we share this with the Lao? How do we share this with other communities that may not know about it? And as we shared about what was going on and what was happening with Parks4All, people were wanting to be involved. Who can we talk to share about our park not being up to the standards that we want for our communities?
That really launched the advocacy efforts of community members being led by young people, which was around making sure that there was language in the general plan that said the city will update the Parks Master Plan. That was our first small victory in the general plan.
Building Healthy Communities said, well, fine, we'll find our own resources. This skate park right here was put together by BHC and their partners, bringing in private money and other supporters to do it ourselves.
And that involved young people coming to community meetings and being a part of discussions to help design the skate park.
We went from designing a skate park to learning about different terminologies when it comes to the skate park that we didn't know about.
And I was there at that meeting, and it was really empowering for me to see young people being able to share their voice and say like, hey, I want this at my park. Let's make this happen. And these are the ramps that I want to see. These are the rails that I wanted to see. When they finally opened those gates and I saw all the young skaters just rush onto the skating place right here behind me, everyone was just so excited. For me, just viewing it on the outside of the gates, it was really beautiful to see like, man, there's so many young people here who are really happy.
We want parks not just in one side of the city to be a great place to go, but also the entire city. Fresno all together as one is one healthy place that we all want to be.
As a coalition and as a broader community group, we said we're going to gather signatures because we want this to be before the voters. So young people went out and gathered close to 12,000 signatures in a matter of 2 months in order to put Measure P on the ballot in November of 2018.
Which would have raised sales taxes by 3/8 of a cent, and a lot of that money would have gone back for fixing parks in the city of Fresno. Building new parks, but definitely fixing parks, fixing the amenities.
Yes.
Yes. So the motion carries.
After volunteering to help gather signatures to qualify Measure P for the ballot, our young people then turned to an education campaign where we held monthly Meet at the Parks event. And what we did at these events is we invited families and young people. We educated folks about the state of parks in the city of Fresno. One of the things that Measure P showed us is that the majority of residents, about 52% of residents, support investments in their park.
When you looked around the table of who was really part of the movement, it was one of the first times since I've been involved in advocacy in Fresno where you saw people from all walks of life, from all parts of the city, from all parties, Republican, Democrats, Independent, all coming together around this vision of being part of something that's going to have generational impact in our city.
Fresno Building Healthy Community helped change the narrative about parks because we kept fighting for what we wanted. We kept showing up at City Council, we kept voicing our opinions, we kept having public meetings with our residents.
There's no defeat, there's just setback.
Measure P didn't pass in the city of Fresno, but there is still a need to fund parks and fund improvements.
The people have the power.
Parks4All movement is very loud and alive and proud in the city of Fresno, and youth leaders aren't going away. Change will only happen when we engage as a community and we hold our decision makers accountable. And that only happens with community power, and we have community power.
It's not ever going to get better because we want it to. It's only going to become better if we actually move to action.